Welcome to The Hill is Always Greener, a chill podcast about older Sonic fans who talk about the stuff they like. Today is part 2 of our revisit of the Champions arc of the Archie Sonic comics. And without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so we're moving on to part 3 of this little mini-series, which is issue 270. So we jump into another quick flashback where we see Dr. Eggman and Breezie overlooking a big cityscape. It says we're in Casino Park, which is in Empire City, I suppose. Which, let's see, was Empire City, was that a Sonic Unleashed location?
That was the New York analog from Sonic Unleashed.
Eggman is basically handing the deed over to the entirety of Casino Park, which she's very grateful for, but she immediately points out that she knows she's not talking to the real Dr. Eggman. And so we see a very almost recreation of the cutscene from Sonic Heroes is Neo Metal Sonic melts into a puddle of Terminator goo and comes back up with his... I guess I never looked real close at Neo Metal Sonic's cape, that it's actually more of a Spawn kilt.
A little bit, yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you known?
Since the beginning. There's no way the real Doctor would be so generous in his negotiations.
If you try to warn Sonic or anyone else...
And why would I do that? It's like you said, I'm getting a new capital for my economic empire. We're not so different, Metal Sonic.
Neo Metal Sonic.
Ooh, see? You're branching out from the Doctor, becoming your own man with your own agenda. Your business with Sonic is just that. Your business. Hero, villain, I don't take sides. I just do whatever makes me a profit.
And he's a little taken aback, but he asks Breezie how long she's known that he wasn't the real Eggman. And she just casually drops since the beginning. And Metal Sonic threatens her lightly, saying she better not try and warn Sonic or his friends. And she says very nonchalantly, it's like, why would she do that? She couldn't care less.
Well, it's sort of making him cradle her head, romantically. It's quite adorable and weird.
Yeah, he puts his scary claws under her chin,
He's very clearly being like snitches get stitches.
And she just leans into it, and I'm just seeing he's very shocked by by her display.
Yeah, I like that.
But just another really good framing of the kind of person Breezie has situated herself to be. She basically says that, hey, you're calling the shots right now, and if you don't bother me in my business, I'll leave you alone to your business. She literally finishes that with saying, hero, villain, I don't take sides, planting herself firmly in, I wouldn't say the center, but with her own machinations.
Exactly.
That
Kind of outside the circle, making money off of it.
Even doing the literal, we're not so different, you and I thing.
Yes. Whoever ends up on top conquering the world is going to need casinos and entertainment.
Yeah, she's just in it for the profit.
I think you mentioned, Jeremy, that the "we're not so different" line is possibly a little nod to the fact that she was a robot in the cartoon, and I think
yes, I'd like to think so. That is a sly little reference.
I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, she was a badnik.
Also, this is one of the only times I've seen Metal Sonic flustered, aside from that time he wound up in the princess from the OVA's crotch that one time.
Yeah.
yeah. Him and Sonic were syncing thought patterns, and we smash back to the fighting tournament where Bean and Fang have ended up paired together, and Bean just has, without a care, is just peppering his hooligan teammate with bombs. And we cut to the stands, and we see, there's that crazy Chow back again in the background.
There he is.
Love that little guy.
He's having the time of his life.
Sonic is sitting up with Tails and Espio, just having a big laugh at seeing Nack get some just desserts. from his own teammate. Poor Tails is still pretty huffy from how he got embarrassed in front of everybody by thinking Honey was going to play fair. And we get a really, I love they take an entire panel with no word balloons or anything to show that Sonic's understands that Tails is genuinely like upset.
Yeah.
And so we get a reaction shot from Sonic that, all my kidding around isn't making Tails feel any better. Better say something sincere.
Yeah, like I really like this moment. Like, it's a good kind of indicator of Sonic as a character in this kind of late stage Archie universe, where it's like, yeah, he's obviously gonna make fun of his foes, and he'll kind of needle his pal a little bit. But when he realizes, oh wait, no, like, he's not in a great place right now, he's gonna show some self-awareness and actually try to like cheer his pal up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get a sense that there is like a real camaraderie between the two, and he doesn't want to do anything that's going to genuinely upset his friend.
I gotta give Breezie props for this round. This is hilarious.
I should have been down there. I could take either of them.
Oh, come on, bro. Are you still mad about being bumped by Honey?
Yes!
Why? Win or lose, that's one step closer to the Chaos Emerald.
Because she made me look like an amateur in front of the whole world.
All right, so that was embarrassing, but everyone knows that you're my go-to guy. What's one fight compared to all the times we've kicked Eggman's butt? Tails, the kid who keeps Sonic running. Tails, the hero who saves Station Square. Tails, the guy who took one for the team and didn't mope about it all day.
Yeah, I get it already. Thanks, Sonic. I just feel like I've got to prove myself sometimes. You're a tough act to follow.
Yeah, well, I count on you to follow and watch my back. Now, let's get back to watching Eggman's Two Stooges.
It's a good example of how Sonic, not unlike other heroes that use a lot of jokes and quips and, devil-may-care attitudes, your Spider-Mans, etc., realizes that not everybody else, functions like that.
Yeah.
Like, Sonic does it a lot because he is very aloof. He is follows his own path, knows things are going to work out no matter what. But he's also self-aware enough to know when that, does not apply to everyone.
It's like, yeah, time to turn it off.
As an STC fan, that's really weird to me to see a Sonic that's actually openly supporting and standing up for his friend here, as opposed to just assuming that they know, while being a dick. But no, this Sonic, I do like this sort of middle ground of Sonic, where he's cocky, he's got a sense of humor about things. But if someone's upset and it's someone he cares about, he's got a lot of empathy, I think.
Yeah.
That shows up in the games once in a blue moon. Ironically enough, in both of the storybook games, you see his reaction to, he's very tender and caring when he realizes Shara in Secret Rings is very despondent and kind of hopeless, even after they beat the bad guy because of her past with that. I like in Black Knight where Sonic, basically says hey, if I got to be the bad guy because, I'm going to put an end to this world that's stuck in a weird magical time loop, then so be it.
I think that's a good example as well, the storybook games, because Sonic does have those emotions and those concern for others, but he's also a real cocky prick in those games.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's why you see a lot of people still talking about Black Knight, which, maybe doesn't hold up in any other way but the story, but I totally get why people still really like that.
Yeah.
Not to go off on a tangent, but, a real bad example of that behavior from Sonic is in 06, where he just tells Elise never to cry, don't ever do it.
Oh.
Well, that's Japan.
Yeah, well, I see what they were going for. I even remember, at the time, Secret Rings came out after, and just thinking of, how it made no sense, because he tells Shara at the end to, cry all you need to, get it all out.
Now I think about it in hindsight, maybe him telling Elise to cry all you want might not have been the best idea. It might have brought on the apocalypse.
Okay, but he didn't know about the demon spirit inside her. All he sees is a vulnerable young woman going, I can't cry, don't do it, Elise. And he's like, yeah, don't.
Emotional stunting is healthy.
I'm stunting on these emotions.
Just put on a smile, a nice smile. My God.
Anyway, so yes, this is a lovely little moment. It's brilliantly illustrated how he puts his arm around Tails and tells him that, everything's going to be okay. You're an invaluable member of the team, little buddy.
I'm sure people would love that in these days. They would love some more acknowledgement and character for Tails, considering.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's kind of like Amy, to where I feel like the past few like games and like official or Sega things like outside of the comics don't really know what to do with her anymore. They want to distance herself or give her more depth than she's just like a crazy Sonic fangirl. But also you don't want to tip too far into that, oh, she's the one of the only girl characters and she's the killjoy that tells all the boys to, oh my gosh, you guys are so stupid. I think Tails is kind of similar. It's like there's only so much you can do with Boy Genius, and I don't know where they want to take it more, because he's not, his whole arc in Sonic Adventure was he didn't want to just be Sonic's little kid brother tagging along, relying on him for everything. But then I don't know, it's like stuck in a loop, I guess, that it's not that bad, but also it's like, okay, it could be better, I guess, at the end of the day.
Also, there's a comic I think we should be reading. No, no, that's just how we are. This will happen when we get on one.
They're feeling good again, which gives them the opportunity to watch the end of the match where Bean
he's doing a lot.
A sly little Mario and Sonic the Olympics reference.
Yep.
You're right. As he is being pelted with, I can only assume, bullets.
They aren't popgun pellets in this one.
Yeah, definitely not.
From Nack's sidearm.
Well, it's because he's got the golden gun from GoldenEye.
Yeah. Watch out.
I think they did specify it's a blaster, so, that's the way around it. It's to be a laser blaster.
Put it on stun.
I wonder if at this point they were very, just working with what they got. Like, they got the note. Like, well, it has to be a blaster, but they didn't put, like, any Zap Zorch sound effects. So, what... I don't know, are they subtly encouraging kids is like, you can picture it as a real gun if you want to, kids.
The power of imagination.
Or maybe he's just shooting out really hot orange juice.
Because I know, I think it was before the first soft reboot, we had Nack show up in the comics, and he literally, like, takes aim at Sonic with a rifle and blasts him in the head. But we don't actually see it on screen, and like Sonic almost looks like he's sleepy in the aftermath. So I think the artists at the time like got a note back that just said, hey, don't put realistic gun fire in the comic, which I get it. Like, there's a entire story arc where Mina the Mongoose gets shot with like an
actual gun.
a real revolver with bullets in it. I'm actually surprised they got away with at the time, even being under like the Comics Code Authority too.
And Sega would never have Sonic characters holding a gun ever again.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah, that's also like, okay, yeah, we don't have to get into all that. Okay, we'll be here all day.
I do want to point out the flip that Bean does in this panel. I love, because actually looking at this a second time, I love the fact that like near the end of his arc, he's just eating an apple all of a sudden, and then
very good.
It's just nothing super special about it. It's just like a fun little joke. Just like, oh, I didn't see that before. Nice.
It's I like how they really go out of their way to illustrate his like Looney Tunes funny quality in still art with stuff like that. But yeah, Nack gets really ticked off. Realizes that Breezie put them together in a match just to screw with them, and so he grabs Bean by the collar and just tells him to take a dive, and he does. It's very funny.
You're unconscious now.
Okay,
He's like, okay.
Yep. He literally goes, "Heh."
That's also the start of a good kind of running joke during this issue with down in Meropis. Razor the Shark is just hauling in all of the cash from people betting on it. Like, he's got Striker the Mantis Shrimp just immediately taking all of his cash.
I'm glad you know who these are because I had no idea who these
I had to
characters
refresh
were.
myself, but
This is about the cast of characters who sort of like introduced us to the rest of the world and introduced Sonic to the rest of the world when they came back to the from the soft reboot.
yeah, I believe they showed up maybe 2 arcs ago.
Yeah, I think they make a couple more appearances in some Sonic Universe side stories.
I believe that's right.
But I really like them. It's another like really unique species being put into Sonic character molds, and really neat stuff. They're cool.
Yeah.
So after the fight, we see that Espio is up there in the stands with them hanging out. He's still grumpy that he lost to Bean of all people.
Yo, S, satisfied that Bean got bumped?
Not especially.
You have a collect call from... Inspector, don't accept the charges! We can't afford it, but how could you lose to that duck? I thought you were a ninja!
And what makes it better is that he's reaming them out as quickly as possible in the space for his name in the collect call.
It's such a great bit. Like, that is the Chaotix in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's very chaotic. And then afterward, we kind of the characters on screen kind of suss out like, it's a little bit suspicious that the order got changed so that it's Bean and Fang fighting together, and then next is Knuckles and Amy. It's basically showing like the order keeps getting switched around, more than likely just for popularity of views and everything. But Sonic still has the resolve of like, well, we just got to keep going through this. We got the emerald to get.
They're going to stick to their word of putting on a good show, even if they're obviously being manipulated.
Yeah. And speaking of a good show, next we have the Knuckles and Amy fight, which is short but very fun to read.
Yeah, it's definitely a fight in quotation marks there. It's a very interesting segment, I think.
Bombastic experience.
Because they definitely go out of their way to avoid like too much male on female violence here, but they do it in but nonetheless, it's sort of it still gets across the point that Knuckles isn't holding back, which is fascinating.
Yeah, he jumps up into the air and does like a megaton punch that sends poor Amy flying on like a piece of the floor into the stands.
I love that silhouette.
Before that, I love the half page of Amy expressions we get where she is very resolute. She's got her Pico Pico hammer up on her shoulder, but then is immediately worried that, what if she flattens poor Knuckles? Worried about like, oh my goodness, what if I hurt him? And, would that make him upset? Like taking everything into account, and poor Knuckles just goes for it and
just actually destroys the arena.
doesn't even realize he's as the dust clears, he's like, I thought we were fighting.
He's got the sad puppy eyes, and Sonic is just giving like the angriest dad look. Oh man, gosh, and I'm just noticing that Tails is too.
Yeah. It is funny though. It's like, yeah, they I think it almost would have been lazy to have like Amy win just because, oh yeah, she's crazy, and played it a little more like, no, poor Knuckles just wouldn't think 2 seconds about it. Whereas Amy might think of, oh, I don't know, I don't want to fight my friend.
One thing I want to point out through all these comics within this, the color palettes are great, but what I'm really impressed by is the shadow work. Like either for emphasizing, or like I said earlier, there's like a really great silhouette of Knuckles before he strikes. Like the shadow work is like, it's punching above its weight as far as like bringing dimension and depth and just artistry to the panels. I love it.
Yeah, it's really well done.
I remember before I learned anything about like how comics are made, just how intimate the relationship between like the artist pencils and the inker can be, as far as like, man, if there's not communication there, communication and just like an understanding of what the artist was going for is like a good inker can make or break like a whole book. So it's just a real testament to just how talented this whole crew is and continues to be. I know a lot of them carry over into IDW, and I'm very glad for that.
Definitely.
Everyone works together really well. It's nice to see this sort of like simpatico stuff with the artists and the writers and everything. Because that wasn't always the case with Archie.
Yeah.
But we don't want to get down that rabbit hole right now.
But poor Amy ends up in the infirmary. She's got the standard bandage around her forehead, which means, she got hurt, but not that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In a cartoon anyway. In real life, that might mean you have a concussion.
I was going to say.
That's very bad.
Might be a sign of a head injury.
Yeah. In a cartoon, that's fine.
I love Tails holding the little flower.
Well, again, we have a nice, a genuine moment from Sonic where he asks Amy if she's okay, and she can barely get the words out because she's so flustered. But yep, Sonic is up next.
Ready to rumble, lady?
Ready to win?
You're giving up?
Listen, I don't think I realized how serious this was at the start. Eggman sending in mercenaries, Breezie obviously manipulating the fights. I came here for self-promotion. You came here to save the world. You need to be in that final round. You need to win that emerald.
Thanks, but we still have to give the people a show, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Whoa!
Yeah, and they immediately, kind of make things clear with him and Honey talking at the start. Like, Honey's just looking at him like, I didn't realize how serious this was going to get. I'm going to throw the fight. You can have the emerald. We need to make sure that you're in the final round so that you are guaranteed the win. And, Sonic's like, I appreciate that. Everything is, again, Honey going back to that, showmanship. She's still got to give the people a show.
Immediately judo throws him.
I love that panel so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Sonic says, like, let's still give him a show. She's like, oh, yeah, I was planning to.
the facial expressions on both of them in that last panel makes the whole thing.
Yeah, I know she's doing the scary little kitty face, which just makes me picture like, if you have a cat that roams around at night, you get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and you see their eyes glowing at the end of the hallway. And they're not going to attack and maim you, but...
You also know that there is ill intent behind that stare.
Yes, I think that's that exact look.
It's 3:23 in the morning and you're tired and you gotta pee and uh-oh.
My cat's thinking about all of my vulnerable weak points. Oh, we get a great splash page of another fight that I love is interjected at the end with another appearance from Wes Weasley advertising Chow Cola.
Run faster, swim farther.
Which of course he would partner with this version of Breezie to just do infomercials and hawk his stuff. That's such a great little detail. Honey is trying the same trick she pulled on Tails, her little
shadow clone jutsu.
After image.
Yeah, it's a move from the game. I forget. It's
like the dodge move.
It's like a quick dodge.
You already pulled that trick on Tails.
But Sonic sees right through it, of course, and just immediately tosses her ring out.
And of course, she's jazzed. Like, that was so cool. She's having fun. They make that clear.
Yeah, and that's the sort of way they get across. They avoid the male and female violence too much.
Yeah.
By relying on the ring out here. Sonic doesn't deck her. He just chucks her.
Yeah.
But also, like, I mean, she started it.
Yeah.
With a very violent toss.
Yeah, like you said, she's been kind of taking a piss the whole time, pretending like she's taking it seriously, and then really it's just having the time of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yeah, she's falling through the ring out, which I think remember is just like a hologram projection anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise she'd fall to her death, because that's the Wing Fortress.
Yeah, that is definitely that is absolutely the giant wing stage.
I like the little detail of feathers coming off of her wings, which are they real, part of her body? Who knows? She'll never tell. We get another little commercial bumper at the bottom advertising Chow Boom, which is just Sonic Boom except with the Sonic Chows.
Yeah.
New episode every Saturday at 6.
It was timely at the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Not only was the show on, but Archie had just started their Sonic Boom comics a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah. And then we get a similar kind of splash page full of other commercials and bumpers and everything. All, Breezie controls the media entirely. So she's just kind of leaning into that. You see the photo of her as the poor homeless orphan jump over to clinking glasses with the president. Images of Chow in Space 3, the Sonic Man TV show, which that is probably, I'd argue that's one of the biggest things we lost with the end of Archie.
The short intro is that they had planned for, what was it, 293?
293.
We got solicits. We got like an official cover. I'll link it in the description so you can see. But we got some backstory from Tracy Yardley, who helped design the characters and put the story together with Ian, that they wanted to do like a whole little mini arc taking place in Studiopolis from Sonic Mania of a Power Rangers.
They wanted to do basically a Sonic Tokusatsu series based on the Sonic Man character from Sonic 06, who I did cosplay once.
A Sonic Sentai, if you will, I think.
Yeah. They turned that design into like a proper Tokusatsu hero for this ad, and then they built an entire Sentai team around that for this arc that never went through. And these designs are just so good.
Yeah, Tracy talks about in the thread that they took, it's all human actors in armor that looks like the Sonic characters. But he points out they took the humans from Sonic Unleashed as like a base, and it's just some really, really cool designs.
Yeah.
Definitely go look at that. And I really hope, sometime in the future that Ian also gets to release like his little memoir about all of the lost concepts that unfortunately didn't come to pass.
Definitely look at that thread, because if you don't, you will miss out on an amazing Professor Robotnik design that needs to be seen.
I just want to say, I really like this page because, like you said, it's Breezie advertising on her own like television network, which we know is also funny because at the start of this pointed out this is a pay-per-view, and she still puts commercials in there, which
that monster.
way to go, get that cheddar.
I mean, if you've seen pay-per-views recently, that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I know some of you guys watch like wrestling pay-per-view. That's the only one that I still know of that is like a true pay-per-view, other than like sports sometimes. Do they like literally still put commercials for stuff in there after you've already paid them like 20 to like 60, 80, hundreds of dollars?
If they're sponsors, if they have sponsors like sponsoring the show directly, then maybe. But mostly they advertise their own stuff.
Which makes sense, because like you want to draw in like new viewers who like maybe this is their first time watching a pay-per-view from this company, and they gotta say like, hey, if you stick around, we have all this other stuff you can watch.
I'm sure like the companies bought this ad space in this fighting championship, knowing that there was going to be a lot of eyes on this. So
which just goes into is she's presenting. You've got the little like, oh no, she was a poor orphan who pulled herself up by her own bootstraps and is now a billionaire. She's literally got the tagline at the end where she says,
With BreezeMedia, everybody can be a winner. Trademark.
When like we already know, there's even a little trademark on the end of that word bubble just to hammer home that she's really trying to sell this, when we know that no, like half of this is because she partnered with Dr. Eggman when he was in the middle of taking over the world, and then Neo Metal Sonic when he was trying to do the same via a violent coup against his creator. And It's it's really good. We're not going to get into Radical Left Highway, but it's definitely like a subtle nod to like that whole anybody can be a billionaire thing is just bullshit.
Yeah. So of course the hooligans are not buying into Breezie's whole shtick, and Nack is like, okay, we're down 2, but I'm fighting Knuckles. I can take him. He's an idiot. I just gotta psych him out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be okay.
And
it's fine.
Start of the next match, he's doing his best to do just that. Try to get in Knuckles' head, catch him off guard. He's doing the tail spring thing, hitting him from all sides.
Fight! You sure you want to do this? You might screw it up, like everything else. Way to knock your friend out of the arena. I thought you were here to help. You just made my job easier. And how about that Master Emerald, huh? You can't keep it together, can you? In more ways than one. Ah! What's the matter? Gonna cry? Ashamed you're such a failure? Just walk on out of the ring. I'll find those Master Emerald shots for you. Yo, hello? Did I break you entirely, or... Ooh.
Just waiting for you to hold still for a second.
Gosh, it's really playing into that. If you play the game, like Nack Fang is definitely one of the first characters that will just take off half your life bar with one like 2-hit combo. Yeah. It sucks.
especially when he starts, flinging a gazillion corks at you through the pop gun. But Knuckles, of course, is just waiting for his opening, and he gets it when he manages to get his hand on Nack's tail, and in a beautiful bit of stretch and squash, just completely demolishes him.
He just bam-bams him, essentially.
Yep. Exactly.
Yes. Oh.
Well, Nack has a great fractured muzzle expression that just looks straight out of like a Wile E. Coyote who got, his Acme Dynamite backfired.
I mean, that's what Nack was always meant to be, I feel like. He's that sort of character. You could see him in in a Warner Brothers cartoon.
Yeah, just a complete overconfident doofus that never wins in the end.
And we get a nice little cap off on the running gag where Razor finally loses his bet to little 7-year-old Pearly, of all people, after shaking down the guard, the royalty, for all they're worth.
This little Pearl Fay looking character. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I just noticed that they're down in Meropolis. They're watching the match on some kind of scrying orb bubble. And also that they have been betting with sand dollars or clams.
Yeah.
Either one of those, very, very funny little visual gag there.
So yeah, we cut to the next page where Eggman's watching the whole thing. It clearly has gone through quite a few chow colas at this point.
I love this image of him in bed, but his 2 minions are there the Orbot and Cubot are there with him. This is such a lovely...
They're all having a little sleepover.
This is like my ideal existence here. The king-size bed with... He's got, popcorn, several different kinds of soda, and a nice, pizza takeout box?
Some manner of takeout box with the tagline, "You've fried the best, now here we are," on it.
I like this little glimpse into Eggman's character, that at the end of the day, he is kind of a giant child and a little bit of like a hedonist.
Yeah.
Because the man knows what he likes, and that's what he does.
It's that sort of like oversized kind of furniture that sort of reminds me of the stuff you'd find in the egg carrier in Sonic Adventure 1.
Yeah, I think that might be exactly like the same bed from the egg carrier.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I'm noticing the monitor he is watching all these things on are literally the floating monitors for Sonic Adventure. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But at this point, Eggman's decided, okay, I played Breezie's way. Time for Plan B. He checks in on Metal Sonic, sees how close he is, and tells Team Hooligan to start the backup plan.
Yeah, lest we forget, Metal Sonic is speeding towards the arena in low orbit.
Yes.
And so we get to our final match setup, Sonic versus Knuckles, no holograms, just one-on-one in the ring.
No references to the stages here from Sonic the Fighters, just a ring, which I appreciate.
Yep.
And Fang with a rather realistic-looking sniper.
Yeah, it's literal Fang the sniper
yes,
here.
Like...
Yeah.
it is one of those, like, it's still fantasy enough, but, like, definitely a gun. Like, they even, got the little detail of the little covers on each end of the scope and the muzzle choke on the end, and it's like, yep, that is definitely a gun. And, like... Nack's just gonna murder our hero. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Like, spoilers, he doesn't get to fire it, which I think is the entire, reason that they got away with it.
And to their credit, Sonic and Knuckles don't know, but they're jazzed to just be like, yeah, we get to fight again. There's a long-standing rivalry. We're just looking forward to another opportunity to tussle. They're both having fun.
like coming down to Sonic and Knuckles. That's always going to be, like, one of my favorite sort of, like, rivalries in the Sonic series.
I could hear the Sonic the Fighter's music for Sonic vs. Knuckles playing in my head.
I could, but then I'd also think more often than not you'd fight Knuckles, like, in the first round, I think.
Yeah.
In Sonic the Fighter, so it feels like a reversal of that to something that makes more sense.
And just wipe the floor with him. I like the little touch in the final splash page, which is literally the view from... Fang's scope, but Sonic and Knuckles have just got big goofy grins on their face, and Knuckles has his spiky teeth from, I guess it was probably Sonic Adventures Sonic X that decided Knuckles has spiky teeth. It's a cute little touch.
Yeah, this is really cool. That's my analysis of this. Very cool.
So now we're into the final issue. Same creative team. A few pencils by guest artist Ryan Jampol, who does great work as always. But we're right into the final fight. They are throwing down with even some flashbacks to some previous fights. You see the initial Knuckles popping out of the ground, like in Sonic 3, them knocking the emeralds out of each other in Adventure, a quick flashback to battle. It's all there. Like, they really want to make it feel like this is a culmination of a thing that has been ongoing since the beginning.
Yeah, after all, he's Sonic's friendly nemesis.
Oh man, I remember that was the thing that they went with for a long time in the Archie.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like it was on these miniseries as well, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
That was an Archie thing, right? Because I always assumed it was just synonymous with Knuckles, but no, I guess that was kind of he's kind of a bad guy, but not really.
I mean, we understood he was his friendly rival. We just didn't have the branding over here.
Yeah.
They weren't Rad Red and True Blue over here. It was various British insults for one another.
Well, the red dreaded one.
Yeah. Oh, this was the red dreaded one, and Chuckles and Charlie. Some strange ones, actually. Now I think about it.
Thinking about this whole tourney, I never stopped to consider how Breezie got that emerald for the prize.
Hey, we're fighting here! Take this seriously!
Yeah, mid-fight, Sonic's like, I wonder how Breezie got that emerald in the first place. Knuckles like, focus, but they do flash back to find out exactly how Breezie got her hands on that emerald. And as it turns out, it's the typical super special Sonic Search and Smash squad bickering over credit for finding the thing.
It's just a scene from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, more or less. That's
Oh, yeah.
what I love about it.
So I love how, like, as the Badniks are bickering over credits, Grounder even inadvertently running over coconuts at one point. Breezie is just completely, not paying attention to them in the least, busy coming up with ideas for what to do with their emerald before finally settling on the tournament.
I would like to think the letterer for this issue really thought about how best to phonetically spell out Scratch's laugh.
Wahakaha.
I hear so many variations of it, but it's never been pinned down.
Yeah, I think that's about as close as you're gonna get. It's very good.
But we get a moment where Sonic and Knuckles finally touch base on what each of them has been up to mid-fight.
So Angel Island is
floating, just like the rest of the wrecked planet.
So if we fix the world, your island falls? Dude, do you want me to throw the fight so you can hurry up and get back to searching?
Don't you dare.
We'll worry about plans and emeralds and everything later. But right now, you're gonna give me a decent fight.
Need to blow off some steam, huh? Sounds good. Let's rumble!
Sonic, to his credit, is like, if realizes, oh crap, if we fix the planet, your island's going to fall. I'm willing to throw the fight if it means you can get back to searching for the other Master Emerald shards, fix your thing. And Knuckles is like, no, we can worry about that later. Right now, I want to settle things here and now. Let's have it out. And Sonic is all too eager to agree.
Knuckles, like Sonic says, Knuckles, he just needs to blow off a little steam.
Yeah.
What better way than punching Sonic in the face? Sonic gets it.
Time-honored tradition. I love the little reaction images from some of these characters.
Yeah, the crowd shots are very good.
Yeah, the nice 2-page spread of Sonic and Knuckles trading blows with, like you said, reaction shots from tons of characters, from Breezie up in her booth to the Freedom Fighters back on their airship. Nice little sly. Antoine is holding up a little Knuckles flag because, of course he wants to see Sonic get put in his place a little bit.
Chip literally sitting in a bag of popcorn.
Goals.
Who's the purple character?
Yeah, that's Princess Undina, the Princess of Meropis.
It's very cute. Almost looks like she's sitting in the stands with a reverse umbrella. I can't tell if they're trying to illustrate that she is soaking wet from just having come out of the ocean, or if her umbrella is literally dripping water down on her on purpose too.
I think it's the latter.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that's what it is because she's got a fish. She's got to stay wet.
Yes, it's a very, very cute little detail. Poor Vector is clutching a betting slips in his hand. As we can only imagine who he decided to put down his last handful of cash on.
Meanwhile, we get a shot of Team Hooligan infiltrating the casino's power grid to start planting bombs and detonate when the time is right.
This is a sort of a reminder to me to the fact that Bean really does just materialize his bombs out of nothingness. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's hammer space. It's where Amy's Pico Pico hammer lives. They're both.
He is Bean the Dynamite. So.
They're both trained in the magical arts. Bean setting up on the power generator for the casino, I believe. Just a bunch of bombs stuck up there with bubblegum.
I like that Bean even says, I don't need no stinking plastique.
He's a hard working class man. He makes do with what he's got.
Nack gives the signal, and they detonate the power grid. The lights all shut off, everybody's confused, and that gives him the opportunity to take his shot without anybody seeing. Unfortunately, he is interrupted and misses his shot because Metal Sonic literally crashes through right next to him to make his move.
Yeah, real lack of communication on between Eggman's teams here.
Yeah. I want to point out that in a couple of these panels, Fang counts down 3, 2, 1, Mark, and then Bean says Twain. So confirmed literary guy, Mark Twain, is in the Sonic universe.
Well, it's either in the Sonic universe, or that's just another case of Being the Dynamite knowing about things that exist outside of his world, which I think is more likely.
Yeah, good point.
I think that I would take issue with that if it was anybody except Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
Like, this is the same character who made a very direct Homestar Runner reference in an earlier issue, so it's like, I'm willing to forgive it.
I also love how Bean says this jokey throwaway line, but has the most malicious smirk on his face. Yeah. Yeah, Bean does like being bad at the end of the day. He's a goofball, but he's also enjoys being a little stinker for the bad guys.
So Metal Sonic infiltrates the vault, and we learned that for some reason, basically all the defenses are already disabled, and that was not a thing that the hooligans did, so little alarmed there by what's going on. As Metal Sonic goes in, grabs the emerald, he takes off, but is immediately intercepted by Sonic, who takes off after him, starts attacking mid-fight. He's going through a whole gauntlet of all the other freedom fighters and Honey trying to take him down as he runs. We get a really cool series of panels of just everybody attacking him in motion while he's doing his forward burst thing, slowly running out of energy.
Wouldn't be a proper Metal Sonic confrontation if Sonic didn't bust out his super peel out move.
Of course.
True.
Oh, yeah. The figure eight.
And Metal Sonic nearly gets away, bursting through the ceiling, only to finally be taken down by a surprise attack from Tails, who's there waiting. It really feels like this is the culmination of that little mini arc of Tails worrying that he can't live up to Sonic and the others. So it's good that he gets that win at that moment.
So, are we gonna do this? I mean, fight on the rooftop where you take on us and 4 other professional butt kickers, while also fighting all of Breezie's security forces.
This entire situation has been a disaster. Get back to the Death Egg for repair. I've got a lead on another emblem. Did you hear me? I said fall back!
And the winner, by making Metal Sonic look like a total chump, Miles, the Turbo Twin-Tailed Genius Prower!
Once Tails gives Metal Sonic the very clearly powerful roundhouse kick.
Twin-tailed powered roundhouse spinning kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I would think that, like, a roundhouse kick from something that has 2 tails propelling it would be really devastating. The security defenses all come back on, and Sonic basically kind of gives him a coy ultimatum of, like, all right, Metal, I mean, we're all here, we can fight, but the security's on, and there's more security on the way.
And also there's 6 heroes who are ready to take you on all at once.
So Eggman realizes, like, from his security area, Eggman realizes, like, you know what? I think we better cut our losses and just get out of here. Which we can definitely see from this panel that Metal Sonic is absolutely infuriated to be embarrassed like this and doesn't even get to have a proper fight.
Yeah, he, like, there's a part of him that absolutely wants to, like, take his chances and try to take everybody on. But Eggman, for once, is the voice of reason and tells him to fall back. You can tell that he's not happy about it, but he complies anyway.
Metal Sonic would fight until, like, his last circuit went out.
Yeah.
But Eggman's still in charge.
And, like, as you were saying before, we have, like, a nice little conclusion on that, like, mini arc sort of thing with where Sonic was encouraging Tails, where he literally, like, holds his hand up, like, winner boxer style and says, Miles, the Turbo Twin-Tail Genius Prower, the winner.
Yeah. Kind of declaring Tails as, like, the unofficial winner of the tournament here.
I mean, that's really nepotism when it comes down to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but when you've saved the world so many times, you know.
Yeah, and I'm just assuming that, like, all the remote cameras followed all this action, so Breezie was getting exactly what she wanted the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And then we get kind of a 2-page aftermath for Honey and Breezie, which, you know I talked about this before, but really kind of speaks to the both similarities and differences between their characters. Like,
And there! Your waitstaff will be exclusively outfitted by Honey brand clothing. How exciting! I've never designed clothes for robots before.
I look forward to working with you, Honey. You really impressed me during the tournament.
Is that a fact?
Oh, yes. Putting your reputation and neck on the line. Giving it your all to get what you want. I relish a partner with that kind of initiative.
Well, now that we're so close, can I say something off the record? Businesswoman to businesswoman.
Yes?
It's no secret Dr. Eggman wanted that Chaos Emerald. Suddenly, 3 random mercs with Eggman connections get added to the bracket overnight. Then, when they get bumped, Metal Sonic shows up. None of your outside security stops him. None of your inside security is around. The hooligans flew to power and got away scot-free. And not one of your badniks took a shot at Metal Sonic as he escaped. The Freedom Fighters came real close to losing what they need to save the world.
The hooligans are expert provocateurs, and Metal Sonic is a fine example of robotic perfection. It's disappointing, but not surprising my security wasn't enough. And one way or the other, I was losing the Chaos Emerald. But with 6 heroes desperately trying to stop a last-minute assault by a deadly super robot, well, I got the attention of the entire world. This entire tournament was most lucrative, my dear. Shattered or whole, I'm now worth half this planet.
That's quite the shrewd mindset you've got there.
Take it to heart. You took out Tails in short order to advance. I know you'll see the wisdom of my words soon enough.
We'll see about that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got orders to fill.
Ta-ta! I look forward to working with you.
Honey gets a deal with Breezie to outfit her robots and everything with Honey brand clothing, business partnership and everything, but she basically calls out Breezie off the record for everything she's done up to this point, fixing the brackets. Clearly she was the one who turned off all of the security for the Emerald, doing all this stuff just to basically turn a profit, deliver a show. And Honey's like, I get it, gotta look out for number one, but also that's kind of messed up because lives are at stake, the fate of the world is at stake. This is not the best idea in this situation, maybe. She kind of denies everything, saying, it's all coincidence, blah, blah, blah. Really emphasizes the difference between them and their ideologies.
You get the impression that Honey... in fact, we know Honey was willing to give up the Emerald to them because it's more important than... This is more important than that. Even if she's in this for herself and her own image, she's still going to help the good guys. Breezie doesn't seem to have much concern about that.
It goes back to what they've already established, is that Breezie literally does not care what happens because she knows she's going to make it out the other end and can adapt to whatever state the world takes. And yeah, Honey gets a little scared. Like you said, she basically says hey, I was kidding around and, poking fun, but the freedom fighters almost lost and they're the good guys.
Mm-hmm. And Breezie's like, I really don't care because between the tournament and everything else that happened while everybody was watching thanks to my cameras, I got the attention of the entire world. I'm worth half the planet now. I am more powerful than I have ever been before. And even kind of hinting like you should take my advice, kind of learn from my example if you want to get anywhere in the world.
Another great wordless panel after Honey, says okay, thanks for the advice, and is just crestfallen of oh boy, what did I just get myself into?
Yeah, she's like, shit, man, I'm a fashion designer. I didn't sign up for this.
And with Coconuts kind of closing the door behind her, giving her the side eye to emphasize that at the end. It's a good touch.
Yeah, the Badniks know. They know. Yeah. They know they're better off under Breezie than Eggman, who literally threw them away. And they know the score.
I mean, Breezie's got an end game here. She knows what she's doing. She planned this all out. Whereas Eggman, he's Eggman.
He's a slave to his whims.
By the seat of his pants kind of genius, At
least there's stability with Breezie.
Yeah.
And with the world shattered into many pieces, in a very small level, you can't really blame some people from wanting some sort of stability. And
we did touch on that at the beginning when they introduced that Breezie has taken in all of these badniks from the scrap heap, and that on some level you understand Breezie is serving a purpose with letting them continue to exist as robots, and also putting entertainment out into the world. It's just she's made it perfectly clear that she doesn't actually care if anyone's happy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see our heroes are all packing up. Knuckles and Chip are hitching a ride. Again, I love it. Sonic's car from Transformed that Tails has built, which turns into a jet plane to get them back to the Freedom Fighters base.
Again, going back to the whole characterization thing, he's like, Knuckles, just come with us. We'll help you find the other Emerald Shards, and we can help you out. And Knuckles is willing to actually go along with him for once after some persuading. And we also get Chip and Sonic finally meeting. At this point, Chip already knows that he's like Gaia. There's no amnesia subplot there. So they already know, okay, this is just one step closer to actually fixing things. And we get a fun reveal on the next page of Sonic.
So I have this
condition.
As they're literally flying off into the sunset, he pumps into the werehog and frightens poor Knuckles and Chip.
But yeah, at this point, they now have 4 Chaos Emeralds. Amy's learned a trick from, I believe, Meropis to help find the other emeralds, so they've got a plan. They're working towards actually fixing things. Back at the Sky Patrol, Sally is intercepting a message from Old Man Gregorios, who we saw in the first chapter.
My name is Gregorios, and I must speak with Sonic the Hedgehog. I have vital information, secret information, that is the key to ending this nightmare. The monsters, the shattered world. I know how he can fix everything.
And that is our big cliffhanger that we leave off on until next time.
I think actually picks up in the Sonic Universe arc featuring Sally and Nicole.
Yeah.
That's also a really good one. You should read that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Like we said before, these comics are everywhere. Go get them. You cannot give people money for them, so don't worry about it.
But yeah, that brings us to the end of the arc, and it is still every bit as good as I remember it being.
Yep, I had so much fun coming back to these. It really, I thought maybe I had some rose-tinted glasses just because I remember really liking these when they came out. But going back, it holds up really well. It's just some damn good fun writing with Sonic characters.
And then me, like, this being my first time reading it, I just enjoyed it a lot. Like I like the panel layouts, and like I said before, the shadow work, like the dark inking, just it like I said before, punches above its weight, and it's doing so much good for the comic, and I love it.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on in these comics. There's a whole world. Like, they had to make our new version of the Sonic world from scratch, more or less. And it really is something. I just really like having stuff that kind of references the games and various other forms of Sonic media so heavily to create this whole new, like, compound version of Sonic that, it was so good at the time, and it's a shame that we don't get it anymore.
Yeah, it really, I don't want to navel gaze too much because it is definitely gone forever. But yeah, that was the peak, that this was a book that was able to draw from just about any piece of Sonic media. Yeah, I understand why it happened, but yeah, it is hard not to think of what could have been if this was allowed to just continue to be like the neat Sonic adaptation that is able to pull from the entire history of the franchise.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I appreciate the most about this arc is that, when you have a tournament arc in a story, you immediately think, okay, this is going to be mostly just really cool fight scenes, but I appreciate that they actually managed to work a lot of, like, really good character moments into it between the fights, especially, like, really developing Honey and Breezie in particular as characters that stand out on their own. When, Honey really didn't have any character traits other than she's a Sonic version of a Fighting Vipers character. And Breezie had not been in a thing for, 20 years or whatever. And suddenly she's back and has been completely reinvented in a way that is just a really compelling character that I really wish we'd gotten to see more of.
I also forgot that this was the era where John Gray was doing all of the off panels, and they're just hilarious. Another thing for people to go look up. They're genuinely some of the funniest little 3-panel gags in the book.
Nice little nod to Rocket Metal in the last one here, actually.
Yeah.
The form which never made it into the comic.
We got our little Mama Robotnik cameo in the one a couple of issues ago.
God bless him. God bless John Gray.
So I guess that brings us to the end of this episode. Everybody plug your socials so people can follow us.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube at RockTheJake. I don't post things online super often, but when I do, they are content.
Strap in. You can follow me on Twitter at GreatJobJeremy. That's GR and the number 8.
You can find me at Falero, which is FAULERRO. I think that's what I did last time. Well, it was something like that.
I'm so glad we have a jingle for it now.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cyberlink420. Also, follow Sonic F Series on Twitter so that you can find out whenever the other thing that we all work on together updates. Special thanks, as always, go to Amy Waters for the use of our theme song from the album Gotta Go Slow. You can check out more of her work on YouTube and Bandcamp.
And I'd also like to throw out there, check her out on Twitter and Instagram, too.
Yeah.
The music in our dramatized shorts was by Falero.
And for our next episode, since this arc kind of featured a lot of Adventures of Sonic characters, we're going to jump straight from comics to TV, and we're going to cover the Chaos Emerald arc of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. This is the only, actual story arc they ever did for that show, so I feel like that would be an interesting thing to look back at in the context of the larger series, and which did a lot of things differently compared to the rest of the episode. So I think it'll be an interesting contrast, I think, to what we're used to in a lot of cases from that show.
Continuity in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is the strangest thing to imagine, so that should be interesting. That should be quite the thing to look back on.
I know. I discovered that when watching the first episode with Breezie in it, only to discover that she pops up in 4 or 5 other episodes.
Thank you again, everybody, for taking the time to listen to us. We sincerely very much appreciate it, and we look forward to, continuing to do this and building a really fun, positive Sonic community together around this podcast and other fun Sonic media, because it's fun to talk about. Obviously, you heard us go on this long about comics, and there's so much more to talk about. We're going to have so much fun.
And another very special thanks to the cast of our dramatized audio clips. KaniDay as Breezie. Jeremy Baker as Neo Metal Sonic, Sonic, and Dr. Eggman. Kage-Ichihashi as Miles Tails Prower. Scott Frerichs as Nack the Weasel. YamatoSFX as Bean the Dynamite. Cyberlink as Espio. Rock the Jake as Phone Operator and Gregorios. Falero as Vector and Knuckles. Mystic Pyro Freak as Amy Rose. And RedAsATomato as Honey the Cat.
And like we said in our social media plugs, I am Rock the Jake.
I'm Game Buddy.
I'm Falero.
And I'm Cyberlink, and this has been The Hill is Always Greener. And why did you lose the funny outfits and turn into violent demigods?
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
See you next time.
Masterbot Theatre presents An Evening with Metal Sonic. We're here today with the killer robot Metal Sonic.
I will eviscerate all who stand before me.
Of course you will. So, in the 2012 remake of the Sega arcade game that Champions was based on, Dr. Eggman used Rocket Metal Sonic to attack our heroes. Why not here?
Authorized use of rocket metal proved problematic. Head too heavy.
Well, time for Plan B.